Hi everybody, Yvonne Matson here, your Executive Director, and today I'd like to share with you one of our family favorites called Cheeseburger Soup. You know, maybe the temperatures are in the single digits or below and the snow starts to fall, or maybe your family's just coming in from skiing, skating, or snowshoeing, or perhaps you're just getting over that flu or the bug and you want something that's comforting. This soup is like a big warm fuzzy blanket wrapped around your stomach. So we love it at our house and hope you do too. Typically this would be done in a giant stock pot, but today I'm going to use one of my favorite new products at the Pampered Chef, the covered roaster. It's basically two pans in one. The top piece can be used alone as a casserole in the oven up to 400 degrees. Some recipes that we love in here are tater tot casserole, a big dish of creamy mac and cheese, or how about a shepherd's pie. The bottom can be used on your cooktop to brown ground beef and other cuts of meat, and it can also go in the oven up to 450 degrees. Now you put the two together and you've got the perfect marriage. You won't be sweating your food, you'll be braising your food because there is a little space between the two pieces to allow the excess steam to escape. One of the recipes I absolutely love in here is a seared, slow roasted pork roast. I'll take the pork roast and I'll slather it with my favorite rosemary and herb seasoning. I'll drizzle a little canola oil in here, sear all four sides on the cooktop at a high heat. That traps in all the moisture of your meat, and then I'll cover it, and you can throw in vegetables and carrots and whatever you choose, and then cover it and put it in the oven on a slow cook for about an hour and a half, and you're going to have the most tender, juicy pork roast you can imagine. Today, normally, if we did this recipe as it's printed in its original form, we take a pound of ground beef, we'd use our famous mix and chop and break it up and brown it on top of the stove, but we're going to change this up a little bit because we can. Cooking is more of an art than it is a science, so we can adjust this to our liking. And I found that we enjoy our bacon in here a little bit better. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take perhaps about a third a pound of bacon, and again, however much or little as you want, and we're just going to cut it apart, get it into the pan, and we're going to go over to the cooktop and turn it on a medium-high heat and let it nicely brown and crisp up. We'll get that going, and then we'll be back for step 2. Okay, so here's our bacon all nicely browned and crispy, and we're just letting that cool and drain on a paper towel. The next thing we're going to do is prepare our roux. Our roux is a mixture of fat and flour that is used to thicken soups and sauces. It's a French term and it's spelled R-O-U-X, but it's pronounced roux, like kangaroo, only roux. And it's a mixture of equal weights of fat and flour, not equal proportions. For instance, a tablespoon of flour equals 1/4 ounce. A tablespoon of butter equals 1/2 ounce. So today we're going to use 2 tablespoons of butter to a 1/4 cup of flour, which is 4 tablespoons. And I got that off of our easy conversion magnet, which is real handy when you're looking to double or downsize recipes. And it hangs out nicely on your fridge. So we're just going to melt down that butter, and I'm going to use our whisk to add our flour. And we're going to whisk this for about 2 to 3 minutes, just until the flour loses its raw smell and you start to notice a nice little tan color to the mixture, and that gives it a toasty flavoring, a toasted flavoring. Now you can also store the roux for up to 2 months in your refrigerator or your freezer and have it on hand for any dish that you may like to prepare. So we're going to go ahead and get this all nice and lightly golden brown, and then we're going to remove it from the pan and go on to our next step, which will be preparing the vegetables. Let's talk veggies. You know, 90% of what we do in meal preparation and the time-consuming part of it is in the prep work. And wouldn't it be great if we all had a sous chef in our house to do that for us? Well, let me introduce you to the next best thing, my manual food processor. Not only does it chop and dice, it also blends, so it makes a perfect option for things like salsas and dips, and a lot of sandwich spreads like egg salad, tuna salad, chicken salad, ham salad, and I love it for doing my omelets in the morning. What you simply do is you put in your first few ingredients, you give it a few hits, and you keep adding, and it will blend it all up for you. 3 simple pieces. These are the core of what does the work for you. So let's show you how this all happens. We're going to let this take care of our onion. And let's add our celery. Just a few more pieces here and we should be good. There you go. That was easy as it is. Next up is the carrot. I've already done some for you. And we're adding a fun, interesting shape, the julienne slices, just to give a little bit more texture, a little more interest to the soup. And you simply, these carrots are already peeled, so all you do is just kind of glide the julienne peeler across your carrot, and you get all these fun, cool little strips. And if you don't want them quite that long, just run your knife over, cut them a little shorter, and you're done. So we're just going to add our veggies now to the bottom of our roaster, and I'm just going to heat up a little bit of garlic-infused canola oil. Absolutely, you know, if you don't have the time to clean up the oil slicks in your pantry and in your cupboards, you definitely need one of these vessels to contain your oils. You saw how I did this. There's no oil. It's going to come and drip and pool in the bottom of your cupboard. Absolutely love that option. So let's toss in our veggies. I'm just going to let them saute up in there. And as I said in the beginning, you can change up this recipe to your liking, and I happen to like a little bit of extra color in here. So we're going to throw in some broccoli. And a little flavor is our chive and tarragon seasoning. Measure carefully, about 2 teaspoons. Just going to let that heat up and do its thing. While that is sauteing, we're going to prep our potatoes. And I'm going to show you how easy and fun it is to use our French fry cutter. Now you can use the French fry cutter on zucchini for zucchini fries, some nice oven-baked French fries. But I've recently discovered if you take the core out of an apple and just sip this down an apple, you have these cute, adorable little matchstick apple slices, which are fun to put in a nice garden salad. So I'm just going to take these little baby Yukons. I scrubbed them up really good. They're organic, so I'm not going to even worry about peeling them. If they were not organic, I do recommend that you peel them. And certainly any potato will work for this. And we're just going to pop this down. And in no time, I've got 4 cups of little matchstick potatoes. But again, add a nice interesting shape. And because of their size, they're only going to take about 12 minutes to cook. So we're about 15 minutes done. 15 minutes to dinner. So I'm going to add this all together with our chicken broth and our roux, and we'll be back to finish it up. Those are tender, happen in just 10 minutes, and we're going to add the last 2 ingredients our cheese and our milk, and we're going to throw in the bacon at the end too. But today we're using a cheese product because it makes our soup a little bit more smoother and it melts really nicely. Sometimes this can be really tricky to cut. I found a trick with our super thin bread knife here. If you get it nice and warm, it's like just cutting through butter. And it doesn't create the gummy, sticky problem you would have with just a regular knife. So we're just going to cube this up so it melts nice and quickly. And again, remember you can adjust this recipe to however you'd like. I use a little bit less than what they suggest. And I also don't add salt because this is plenty salty. So you can put the salt shaker on the table if your family members like salt, but I simply add pepper and be done with it. So in goes our cheese. And then the last thing we're going to add is 1.5 cups of milk in our easy read measure, which is just a dream to work with. No deep knee bends when you need to measure up these guys. In that goes. And all we need to do is melt down the cheese and heat up the milk, and it's time for dinner. Add a little bit of freshly ground pepper, our bacon, and we have the most creamy, tasty soup to warm you up in this cold weather. Thanks for watching.